All right. Welcome to episode 49 of the Beer Bullshit Show! Woo!
Woo.
I'm
Enthusiasm.
Hey, Jim, your Bitcoin is falling.
and we have a wonderful
It's typical.
guest. We have a wonderful guest. I've never met her personally. I wanted to, but she didn't go to the Port Fest I went to, but that's okay. Starr O'Hara. What's up, girl?
Hi. Oh, stuff. Drinking Guinness because I was too lazy to haul my ass to the awesome beer store and get something more interesting.
That's okay.
Is it true that you're now in North Carolina now?
I've been in North Carolina for 13 years.
Okay.
Asheville.
Okay. And they have a really good breweries down there, don't they?
Oh yeah. We have it's like if you stand anywhere in Asheville and throw a brick, it'll probably hit a brewery. Like 80% chance it'll hit a brewery. And the brewery will probably be mad at you if you break their window or something, but yeah, there's lots of good breweries here, and a lot of people come to Asheville just to go to the breweries on vacation. They call it a beercation or a brewcation. We also have this crazy thing called a pub cycle. It's like, if you can imagine, like 14 people riding a bike, but they're sitting at the bar, pedaling while drinking beer.
We want to do it. That looks like fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's probably fun for the people that are on it, but then when you get stuck behind one in traffic, you're just like, geez, guys, go drink somewhere else, like a parking lot or something.
Listen, if they tried that in Philly, there would be casualties every night. They would be people getting run over, people running them over, those things falling into potholes. It would not survive in Philly more than one night. It's the horses have enough heart. The horses have it bad enough with those horse and buggies. They're like getting hit by buses, and it's anyway. Well, I'm glad it sounds fun in Asheville at least. Cool.
I'm sorry, I'd be that dork for a day. I would probably hate it too, but then I lived in Savannah, which is like the #1 tourist destination in all of Georgia for like horse and buggy shit. There's horses everywhere, but they're squares. You can't go very fast anyway.
The shit comes out as squares? What?
Savannah is built on squares.
Oh, I thought the horse shit came out as squares.
Yeah, that too, duh.
Horse carriages everywhere, and like pedicabs and tour buses and little. You're not going very fast there anyway.
And all the poo cubes.
There are poo cubes.
Why do people want to have horses in cities? I don't get it. I just don't get it. It doesn't. I mean, it's 2015 for God's sakes. Seriously, we've got Uber. Okay, leave the horse and buggy behind.
What do you think about pedicabs?
Hey, it sounds like great exercise for somebody. Why not? It's environmentally friendly, right? At least usually they're not pooping all over the street.
Usually.
Yeah. Is that like the new name for a rickshaw?
Yeah.
A pedicab? Is that what that is?
Yeah, like a foot cab.
It's like
It's a foot cab. So it's a rickshaw. Okay.
Yeah. It's not a bicycle.
It's not. Do not confuse it with the pedo cab. You do not want to get the pedo cab.
There's a big. I think those are big in Kansas City now. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard.
Wow. Slam. Da-da-da-da-da.
Too soon? I don't know.
Yeah, we're supposed to get through the first round of beers before we start the bullshit, Jigs.
I'm sorry, I've been drinking since noon. I didn't think there was a show today.
Oops. Anyway, there was something you wanted to promote or something, Starr?
Yeah.
Go around.
I don't know, man. I can't hear you keep going the
The floor is all yours, Starr.
Okay, I heard you that time. Okay, so yeah, I am a libertarian science fiction writer, among other things, and I just got accepted. It's my major big celebratory thing that's going on right now. I just got accepted into a very prestigious science fiction and fantasy writing workshop, which will be happening this June, and I get to go there for 6 weeks and write for 6 whole weeks, like 12 hours a day, and learn how to be an even more awesome science fiction writer. From what I've heard, it's like you go there for 6 weeks, and it's like you come out with more skill and knowledge than you would get from a master's degree in like a 2-year master's degree in creative writing. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm doing some crowdfunding to raise the dollars, the FRNs, to be able to attend, and so I have an Indiegogo campaign, and yeah, that's what I'm doing. There's some pretty cool perks on there. If anybody wants to go check it out, go to Indiegogo.com and search for Help Starr Go to Odyssey.
Very
Sounds
cool.
Sounds awesome. Now, have you already published anything that we can refer to, or are you is this the beginning of your career? Or fill us
Yeah,
in?
this is the beginning of my career. I've put up the first chapter of the novel that I'm working on right now, which is actually the submission that I sent. You know, when I applied for the workshop, that was what I sent in as my writing submission, and I put that up on my blog so people can read it and, you know, gauge for themselves, like, is this person really an okay writer? I really want to invest in this. So yeah, it's on my blog, which is at lesliestarrohara.com.
Nice. I'm putting the link to the Indiegogo in the chat here. Maybe we can get that into the YouTube show notes as well.
Awesome.
So cool. Well, good luck with that. You know, we need more libertarian artists, that's for sure. You know, there's enough, you know, stupid philosophical podcasts.
Yeah.
there's people photographing cops, there's people running for office, they're trying all kinds of stupid stuff. Jury nullification, but really we need writers, we need playwrights, movie makers, musicians, people, you know, because that's what moves a culture. So
I agree. And I think from my perspective, science fiction used to be a very libertarian, like solidly libertarian literature genre. And in the past 10 years, you probably wouldn't know this if you're not really into science fiction, but like the freshman class of like great science fiction writers right now are all a bunch of well, not all. So this will come back to haunt me, okay? But I'm just going to say that there's a lot of collectivist people who don't really know what's going on, and they're writing from that perspective in the science. So they're talking about futures in which, you know, collectivism brings us all peace and harmony, and I just don't, you know, it makes me sad.
I blame Roddenberry for that. Screw you, Gene Roddenberry.
I'm almost done with my only beer.
She's not kidding.
No, I'm not. It's a Krabby's original alcoholic ginger beer.
Is that a gluten-free beer?
Yeah, it is. This one's really kind of sweet. I was gonna mix it with some other alcohol, but then I decided not to. So I just drank it as it was.
Toughen it out. Toughen it out.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Nick?
I don't even know. I gotta go get it out of the garbage.
Wow. Really? Oh, wow. We're really off to a great start with Nick and Ruby over there. Jeez.
It's a Florida beer from due south, and it was caramel cream ale.
Toffee stout something?
No, caramel cream ale.
Is it good?
Not really.
Well, now I know.
When I tried to swipe caramel, it said Barnett. Caramel. Okay. Yeah, caramel cream ale. People like it. I give it a 2. It's like, it tastes.
I'm drinking ginger beer, though, so what can I say?
I'm untapping this stuff.
So, Jim Bab,
Yes.
what are you drinking, bro?
I have been waiting all year for this. I wanted to get an Irish beer and, to commemorate St. Patrick's Day yesterday. So I went looking for the Great Lakes. They have like an Irish red ale that I'd heard about. I'm like, I could probably tolerate that. They were out of it, but what they do have is Chill Wave is now back in season.
Yes.
Oh, that stuff's so good.
It is they're I think it's like an 8% double IPA. It's solid. Tastes pretty good. A little more clear than I usually like. As you can see, it's very transparent, but very flavorful. I'm going to try to make this be my only beer for the night because I've got too much work to do. But anyway, Great Lakes, solid brewery. Perhaps they would like to be a sponsor of the Beer and Bullshit Show, the largest philosophical discussion on the internet about beer and bullshit. Anyway, what are you drinking, Chris?
I just poured me. I knew you were going to be really upset, Jim Bab. A Guinness.
Well, we got 2 Guinness drinkers on the show tonight. Why not?
Yeah.
And how's it treating you?
So that's what I'm drinking.
I drank like 6 of those last night, so it's okay.
I worked a 12-hour day yesterday because my stores were wiped out from the weekend. So I had to put up a lot of merchandise yesterday, and when I got home, luckily the wife had cooked up some corned beef soaked with Guinness and made twice baked potatoes, corn, and some stuffed mushrooms.
Nice.
So, and by the time I got done with that meal, I was passed out. It was, like I said, I had just worked 12 hours, and I was in no mood to really drinking. So I said, I'll save my drinking for the show tonight.
There you go.
I just opened a beer that's way better than that last
That's
one.
awesome. That's a really good beer.
It's Wells Sticky Toffee Pudding Ale.
I did not like that one for
I thought it
some
was
reason.
good.
Sticky toffee pudding ale?
Yes, sticky toffee pudding ale. I didn't really like that one.
It tastes like all of those things.
I know, it's good.
It's got the perfect name.
Sticky toffee and pudding in an ale. Okay. What's the alcohol content?
5.
Ooh. So it's kind of like a sobering up beer at this point, right?
So
Like a winding something to help bring you back to reality.
yep, I've got several like 5% beers in the fridge, and I have a few 12 and 14% beers in the fridge. So it's like, what am I gonna do for the rest of the night? And it's either I'm gonna throw up or I'm gonna drink this sticky toffee.
You know, I don't know about you, but I'm going to try to get away from the heavier alcohol beers because I think they're sort of changing my alcoholism profile. I fear that I'm becoming an angry drunk or a mean drunk. Like, and I don't want to be that way, but I feel like a couple of these high alcohol beers and I just start yelling about stuff. I'm like, I already have that natural inclination, and it really seems to come out when I hit a beer that's like around 10%. So I'm going to try to keep it around 8% for a while, see if that helps my drunken demeanor. Let me know how it goes.
Hey, I think Bud Platinum is 7%.
Oh, I'd sooner just go Alcoholics Anonymous. So anyway, well, let me know if I become, I'm going to try to do little less ranting, just.
But we love that, Jim. No. It's like you're less drunk now, and you're such an asshole.
Right, maybe it's just the high alcohol beers that let me perceive what a natural asshole I am. just like opens a window to my true soul. I don't know. That could be the case. I must say this Great Lakes Chill Wave, pretty solid. Used to be known as Alchemy Hour before Widmer Brothers sued them. Don't get me started. Ooh.
I was gonna say something about when Starr said that there were a bunch of breweries there and you could throw a brick. It's like I bet you could throw two and you'd hit two breweries that are suing each other.
Oh yeah, we do have that going on right now, don't we? It's not actually in Asheville though, but it's in the area. We have a brewery. Yeah, Bell's. There's Bell's in North Carolina, and then there's Bell's in Michigan or wherever it is.
Oh, there's another Bell's in North Carolina?
Yeah, it's really tiny, but it's like not. I don't think it's the same. Like it's not spelled the same or something. I don't know.
Oh, we talked about this last week, Jim. Bab, that Innovation Brewery.
That's it. Yeah.
In North Carolina, they're Bell's is suing them because of some kind of wording in Bell's tagline or something.
They have a bumper. Bell's has a bumper sticker with an unregistered trademark that says "Bottling Innovation since 1985."
Right.
So therefore, how dare some brewery call themselves Innovation? Clearly, this is to confuse those idiotic beer drinkers, right? And this is going to somehow damage the hop slam market, right? So, anyway, yeah, we went off on an angry rant on them last time. I would love to try this Innovation Brewing. Can you get your hands on that where you are?
Yeah.
Perhaps they'd like to be a sponsor of the Beer and Bullshit show.
Hold on now. Perhaps they would. Look, I'm gonna quick search them. Keep talking.
Just we are, as I mentioned earlier, this is the largest philosophical discussion on the internet about beer and bullshit. Okay, so this is a number one. When we give a bump to a brewery, oh, they feel it. Am I right, Nick and Ruby? Right?
Yeah.
Right. And when we decide to take down a brewery, we take them down. Look what we did to Lagunitas. All right.
Like any brewery that wants to come over, I got a whole bunch of bumps lined up. Just come on over.
And we're cheap. It really wouldn't take more than, say, a few beers to each of our panelists to win our favor or to avoid our criticism. I would say that's that's the level of integrity that we bring.
Okay, yeah, so I just found it. I haven't actually tried the Innovation Brewery's products yet, but
I hope they're good.
it's in Silva. The brewery's in Silva, which is about 40 minutes from Asheville, and they only make about 500 barrels a year, and that's mostly sold in their own county. So I'm sure I could find it. Around here, even our because it's such a big, beer is such a big thing in the area. All the grocery stores have like local beer sections.
Oh.
And so, our big grocery store chain is Ingles. You go into Ingles, and there's like the Busch, Budweiser, craft beer section, and then there's always a little slim sliver of like an imported beer section, and then there's this huge local beer section. And you can get, like, a lot of our local breweries have stock, like, single cans and shit. You can just go in the grocery store and buy a single can of their beer and go out and drink it in the parking lot. But no, you'll get arrested if you do that. But
can you just sip one while you're doing your shopping? Because I like to have a cup holder on my shopping cart.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but I don't know. They might not notice. Let's just say that. You might be able to get away with it.
At Whole Foods in Florida, you can drink wine, beer, and liquor from the stations at Whole Foods and just walk around the grocery store and drink.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
That's how they get you to forget that you're spending your whole paycheck.
I didn't have a whole paycheck to spend, but I used that place like an amusement park. I ate so much truffle honey on cheese. I was like, this place is dead. I was like, so is there some rule against me taking more than one? He was like, no. I was like, well, how much is that stuff? He was like, oh, this little 2-ounce bottle is $38. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just have a couple more samples then, like 5 more times.
It's like $72 in samples.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like...
So,
they're going to go bad. Somebody needs to eat them.
Speaking of grocery stores, we had a new one open here this week. It was Hy-Vee, which for some reason is super hyped, and I don't understand. It's expensive. It's kind of like a cross between, like Whole Foods and Fresh Market and Trader Joe's and Walmart.
Well, without the clothes and stuff.
Yeah, it's just food.
Just food.
So, of course, I wanted to go and check out their beer section, and I had to work crazy hours this weekend, and I was at work at like midnight, and I went over there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, our beer closes at 11." So
what?
Yeah. So I didn't get to look at it then, so we went back the next day, and a couple of things that are good. All of their beer is in coolers. There's no, like, having to choose between warm beer and cool beer because it's all cold, so that's cool. The other thing is they don't have, like, a mix of 6 for a set amount of price, but they do have a bunch of individual bottles and cans, and you can, like, make your own 6-pack, and it costs whatever those beers cost put together.
That's how it was in Florida when I went.
Which is fine. Whatever. That's okay.
Yeah, we can do that here.
I kind of like that because they could put some like expensive beer out there, and I could just get one of them and not have to spend $20 on a 4-pack.
Or at least try it that way. At least
Right.
You haven't tried it already. It's a good way to do that.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I also know the liquor wine spirit manager at the Bloomington store because he used to be the assistant down here in Springfield.
You should introduce me because I want to kick him in the butt. Because
his name is Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Duly noted. When I went to buy my stuff, they wanted to scan my driver's license. Just to prove that it wasn't a fake driver's license.
Right.
They wanted to scan the barcode on the back of my driver's license, and I was like, nah, I'm good, thanks. You can just keep your beer. But I don't know. I don't like it. Call me weird, but I don't want them scanning my driver's license.
They do the same thing at Wegmans, you know,
Yeah,
and
and
at
I
first I
think
told them like don't scan it, and they'll just type in a number, and then I realized it just takes longer, and what are they, you know, like what am
I'm
I
just
really
buying beer.
accomplishing? I don't know.
I think it's part of the whole Real ID Act or whatever that they put on hold for God knows how long. um, I think that's part of the process. I know buying beer or whatever is not part of that whole process, but you know, and when it comes to government, we all know we don't know what the fuck they're up to. So
Well, it's fear. It's fear is what it is. I mean, at least in Pennsylvania, where they barely allowed Wegmans to put these beer stores adjacent to their grocery store. You know, it's technically a separate cash register and everything, a separate store. You can't take your groceries out through the beer store, and you can't buy beer in the grocery store. But just having them next to each other was so radical that they had to beg and plead the masters of Pennsylvania to allow this. And I think part of their paranoia was, look, we're going to be so careful to make sure that we never sell to underage. In fact, we're going to card everybody. And they do. You can be like 125 years old, and they will card you and not sell you beer if you don't have ID. And then it also comes down to trust of their own employees. They're like, and sometimes I mention to them as they're carding me, like, obviously I'm not even, you know, it's like ridiculous to go through this little dance. I'm like, it's really sad that your employer doesn't trust you to know that I'm not 20 years old. Like, what does that say about what they think about you when they don't think that you're capable of looking at me, at my gray hair and gray whiskers, and say, I don't know, I'm not sure, I better card him. You know, like, it's insulting to the employees, is what it is. It's insulting to them to put that level of distrust on them, but it carries over from the fear that, you know, at the drop of a hat, the masters of Pennsylvania beer cartel could shut them down and say, oh well, we you know, look an underage drinker, shut them down. You know, like, they're so scared of that they have to do these ridiculous infringements on everybody. But
So
what are
that
you gonna
reminds me of a story. I just got back from Mexico. I went for Anarchapulco,
Ooh.
and that was fun. So there was this one part of the trip where we went to a dance club. It was an outdoor club, kind of right on the beach there, and they also had this major, huge, they had this thing where you'd climb up, you know, like 20 stories or something up a big platform, and then you could bungee jump off. That was part of the bar, you know, and everybody's dancing, and then every once in a while the announcer would be like, look, somebody's, of course they'd be speaking in Spanish, but they'd be basically like, look, somebody's jumping, and you'd all turn around to look, and you'd watch the person bungee jump. While we were there, there was this auntie, like this Mexican auntie, who had her three, like a niece and two nephews, who were all between the age of 12 and 15 maybe. And she was kind of there chaperoning them, I guess, to make sure they didn't get too shit-faced.
That's just called being responsible.
Yeah, it was like a family, like, okay, kids, let's go out. And they were drinking, you know, moderate amounts. And, I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And they were having a good time. None of them were too trashed. Their aunt was there keeping an eye on them, you know. And it was, I mean, come on. One of the kids was like really, I mean, he was like very small. 12. Probably 12. But they wouldn't let him drink. Like the older cousins were, you know, drinking adequate amounts, and then every time he'd try to sneak a drink, they'd like smack him in the head or whatever.
Now,
But, you know,
how many of the kids did the bungee jumping?
I didn't see any kids. You had to be a certain age to do the bungee jumping. But
Oh, what a bunch of fascists.
yeah, I know.
Get shit
But anyway, nobody wanted. Very few people wanted to do the bungee jumping because you had to wait in line. Because you had to wait. Like it took. They had an elevator that went up to the platform, and by the time you had to wait in line, and somebody went up the elevator, and then they like had a guy out there to make sure you were all harnessed and everything. And I don't know why. Like everything takes a little bit longer in Mexico anyway.
They stop and take a siesta halfway through.
I mean, they might. That might have been what was going on, but I don't know. I saw several, like 2 or 3 people try to go bungee jump, and then they were like, they gave up because it was too long of a wait.
You know,
or maybe they just
I'd
used
hate
that
to
as
see
an
them rush
excuse
through
'cause
something like that. You know, drunken bungee jumping. Quick, get
Yeah.
that harness on. Hurry up.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Push
get
him
it over
off.
with. Yeah, totally.
Looks good. Jump. Whoa!
And I think it was 10. Like it was the equivalent of $10 to bungee jump. I think it was
nice.
about that.
Nice.
Yeah, and we got into the club for, I don't remember. It was some kind of deal where if you pay this amount, then you get to drink free all night. But it was a different price for men and women. The women, it was a little bit cheaper.
Because you
And the
can't.
men, it was.
Is that it?
No, I think I don't. I think it was like a ladies' night thing. Women got in for a discount.
That should be illegal because
It's discriminatory.
yes.
Sounds great. How I heard that and Acapulco was awesome from other people that went there. Did you have a good time? Any comments on the show?
I had a great time. It was awesome. I really love Acapulco. I love the weather down there and the beach, obviously, and the food was really good. A lot of the people that I met there, I would say actually almost all the people that I met there who were part of Anarchapulco were just brilliant, very happy people with great ideas and very positive outlooks. I came back feeling inspired and motivated and really hopeful about the state of things or the future. So yeah, I had fun. It was great.
Do you recommend it for people? I think there's going to be another one next year, so I trust you would recommend it.
Yeah, totally. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
How was the master of ceremonies there? Who was the master of ceremonies, and did he do a good job?
The master of ceremonies, like for the whole thing?
Yeah, or at least for large portions of it. I have a friend who claims he did a wonderful job as the MC for much of the show, and I'm just wondering if it's true or not, because he likes to toot his own horn.
Well, there were several. I think there were several MCs. There was a different one for each day of the event. So I don't know which. There was one guy who was not. He called himself the statist MC. If that rings any bells. He was
kind of
our
breaking up on me.
Okay. There was one guy who was the statist MC. That's what he referred to himself as.
Ken Krawchuk.
Was that him? He like wrote some kind of post-Randian novel?
Correct.
Correct. That's
yeah,
Ted.
How annoying was he, or not?
Well, he was a very nice guy.
We constantly bust his chops.
You have to know Ken, and I've known Ken for almost 20 years now.
In fact, we should have him on the Beer and Bullshit show. He's an expert at both. That's for certain.
He is. He is. Was Jeff Berwick down there?
Well, yeah. Jeff was like the organizer of the thing, so he was there.
the funny thing about Ken, and he'll say he's not an anarchist, okay, but he's so just twisted in his wording or his thinking or his terminology. He claims to adhere to the non-aggression principle, and there's no branch of government that he says, oh yeah, you got to have that one. But he just still says, oh, well, I'm not an anarchist because I'm not an anarchist. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He has some kind of fear of the word, but I can be friends with him because I know in his heart he actually is an anarchist. He just can't come to terms with the terminology for some reason.
Well, yeah, I guess I kind of got that vibe from him.
Somebody needs to, and I've given up even trying to convince him that he is an anarchist because it's just pointless. It's just teaching a pig how to sing at this point. But hopefully he sold some books. I don't know. That's what he.
I know he sold at least one because I had a friend who bought one of his books, so that's at least one.
Okay, well, I'm sure that justifies his effort there. Then that's awesome. That's cool.
I know Republicans who are anarchists. They're the same way. There's nothing really Republican that they believe except they go and vote for Republicans.
Well,
but they're really anarchists.
I guess you could have I wouldn't agree with the view, but you could have an argument that there's a strategy towards being Republican that supports your anarchy philosophy. Right or wrong, I guess you could make that argument. I mean, certainly a lot of people, got into the Ron Paul camp that might fit that description. Why if they ended up staying there beyond Ron Paul is particularly amusing, but who knows? I don't try to argue tactics with people because I don't have all the answers. If they think they can vote Republican their way to it actually, there might be a case for that. I mean, I think recent Republicans like George W. Bush, did an amazing job of weakening the legitimacy of the state. Okay, I really think they did an outstanding job of creating more anarchists. So maybe your Republican anarchist friend is onto something. Bring in the worst of the worst, and we'll make more anarchists.
Yeah, that was what one of the, I can't remember who the speaker was, but one of the speeches at Anarchapulco that really made an impact, or this one line, I guess, that made an impact on me. I think he was an economist. I think he would, but I can't remember his name. He said that one of the really positive things about the future of anarchism is that every time the governments of the world create a new regulation, with every new regulation and every new stupid ass rule that comes along, they're creating hundreds more of us with every single, if not thousands. So that, when you look at it from that perspective, it's really encouraging, I guess.
But at the same time, that argument is kind of weak. And just to play devil's advocate, I mean, it's like, well, the state can only get so nasty before everybody will revolt and we won't have a state. Yeah, how many people did Stalin end up murdering? How many people can they lock up in gulags? How many people can go into a gas chamber? Okay, like there's the limits.
True.
The limits. Their limits are deep. I mean, as to what the amount of evil they can inflict before you reach any kind of tipping point. Is Germany an anarchist paradise now? Is Russia an anarchist paradise, considering the statist hell they went through? I mean, look what Chairman Mao did. I don't see a bunch of anarchists in China right now, like that, with any significant power. So there might be a flaw in that theory.
Yeah, I definitely agree that there's a flaw in the theory. But when you're feeling all down and you're like, oh man, none of this is ever going to have any consequence and nothing is ever going to change, then you can think, oh yeah, well, they just passed this stupid law. That means there's 2,000 more anarchists now than there were yesterday.
It's possible. And I mean, to me, the exciting changes are, with communication and internet technology and
Yes.
blockchain, and these are the tools that can totally disrupt the status quo. So it'd be interesting to see if they, what promise they deliver, and even if they don't create this like anarchist paradise, around the world, I think these tools are virtually guaranteed to at least give those people that want to the power to separate from the others and to be able to exist in a community that is not as dominated by them. We can create online communities or communities of people or trading communities with Bitcoin or information sharing communities. That transcend status borders, that leapfrog, whatever they try to do to us. Those that want to, I think, will always have the tools to escape. Like they can listen to your email, or they can read your email, listen to your phone call, but if you want to, you're going to be able to properly encrypt it, right? It's just going to be, you're going to have to be one of those people that chooses to it's going to actively not participate in that. Most people will end up just going along with it, but I'm optimistic that we'll have choices to get out of it for those that want to. Maybe, I don't know. IRS is friggin' relentless.
Tell them about it.
I don't feel like well enough. You have to come
You
tell
could.
me.
What's going on over there?
What's happening?
Nothing.
He was wanting me to tell y'all about something that I don't really know
I don't
about.
follow it
so-
enough to talk about it either, but I'm going to mention it, that the congressman that claims jurisdiction over us is the latest one to resign because he's a piece of shit.
Yay! Well, that's Illinois. How do you even differentiate which ones should go to jail and which ones shouldn't? I mean, I don't
I
even.
think isn't Illinois the most corrupt state?
Just
One
about.
of-
It's like the third most corrupt state, right?
Well, and a lot of people might think that's a negative on Illinois, but to me, like, politicians are all the same anywhere in the world, at any level of office, in any jurisdiction, anywhere. The fact that in Illinois they actually prosecute them, to me, puts Illinois like a step above Pennsylvania, at least. Like here we have just as much corruption, if not more, and it's
they get
really
a
hard.
retirement party, right?
What's that?
They get a retirement party though, instead of like getting a jail sentence.
They can do almost anything. I mean, I remember Mayor Street, who was like the last mayor of Philly. They're like, hey, what about all this cronyism and nepotism? Hey, come on, man. And he's like, what? I'm supposed to give contracts to my opponents? What? Like they just joke. They joke about their cronyism openly. They don't even care. In Illinois, like let's face it, if you're the governor of Illinois, don't you have like a 2/3 chance of going to jail?
Yeah, something like
pretty
that.
much.
You film what you're drinking.
I think that says a lot for Illinois. It says something, at least. I don't know what it is, but
It says something, that's for sure.
Something.
I was watching.
Speaking.
Go ahead.
Speaking of anarcho-poco or whatever, I'm still trying to get the lovely Angel Clark on here. Hopefully next month.
maybe we could get Jeff Beerwick.
I have him. I added him on Google Plus, and maybe I might be able to get the both of them on there. So.
I was gonna say
Anyway.
that I was watching like Sports Center or something earlier today, and they were talking about how the NFL teams in California can't get any of the good free agents because of the like crushing state income tax. They all want to go to Florida or Texas where there is no state income tax. And they didn't spend too much time on it. It was kind of like, half a sentence about it, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless.
That's got to crop up every once in a while in normal conversation before it's like, oh, wait, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
There's no
Hey,
unintended consequences. Sorry, doesn't compute.
Hey, you got to get more bang for your buck, man. I mean, if you're getting paid like $3 million a year, you know, you want to try to keep as much as that $3 million as you possibly can.
Hey, right, and let's face it. I guess you can always just say, look, well, I could get $3 million in Florida, but if I go to Pennsylvania, I need 3.18 to make up for the sales tax. Okay, just pass it on to the customer. That's what you do.
I just opened another beer. It's another lightweight, 5%. Shark bait.
Shark bait. Now, wait, I've seen that. What brewery
I've
is
seen
that?
Miami Brewing Company.
Miami Brewing.
Read them from the back. I like the back.
What's it say? You read it.
Okay, it says Bloody Good Beer, and then it has wheat inserted, so it would say Bloody Good Wheat Beer. Our craft beers are inspired by the eclectic flavors and diverse cultures found in Miami and the Florida Keys. Shark Bait is a great all-around wheat beer with maltiness and a smooth mango finish.
It's so good.
Shark Bait
Mango.
Shark Bait is the perfect beach beer. It's a vacation in a beer.
This one is freaking delicious. It's wheat, though.
I don't
Mango.
know.
I was like, what is that?
Okay, I'll taste it.
It's like, it's got a tart, lemony, but it's definitely mango.
So it's a lemony mango wheat.
That is unbelievable.
It's freaking
I've never
awesome.
had anything quite like it. And there's still, like, flavors coming off of my tongue. Like, light. It does have, like, a little bit of a citrus. Like, you know how citrus hits your tongue? So it's not exactly lemon flavor.
Right.
It's more like the way the citric acid hits your tongue. That kind of little tart feeling.
Does it sting if it gets in your eye?
I don't know. It'll probably make my eyeball fall out since it's wheat beer.
Shark bait, that must be a fancy word for chum.
Nice. You guys are more courageous than I am with my beer selection. I guess I'm.
If I haven't tried it, I'm gonna try it. That's how it goes.
These are the beers I brought back from Miami.
Right.
So they were just like, I bought 24 beer.
That's great. I should look for more opportunities to just try crazy beers because you never know what you're gonna love when it's something completely different from the style you like, or it's like I sort of like select myself out of different opportunities to try new things. Like, but did I tell you guys last time about the habanero mango double IPA from Free Will?
Yep, I want that.
Somebody else I talked to, they're like, yeah, we tried that. We thought it was awful. It's definitely one where it's not going to be for everybody. Somebody, you're either probably going to, you may love it, hate it, or I don't know, but.
That's like I hated Southern Tier's creme brulee. I hated it. It was like one of the worst beers I'd ever had. And I cannot tell you how many people are like, well, if you like fruit beer, I mean, I like all kind of beer, really, but I like, I guess, more diverse beer than you because I don't think you like fruit beer, do you, Jim Bab? I don't think you do.
Not normally, no.
Right. So, anyway, what the fuck was I talking about?
I don't know. Holy cow, this shit is so good. This is so good.
All right. Was it Miami Brewing? All right, Miami Brewing, you're getting the beer and bullshit bump, okay? Like, you better start brewing extra because it's going to go nuts, man. You may want to consider a sponsorship. Miami Brewing.
We're already trying to get the football players to go there because they're the low-income tax.
And look at the can. It's kind of cool. It's got a shark on it. And then it's kind of...
And you know what? Let's not just overlook the fact that it is a can. And I give them I give them extra kudos for putting beer in a can.
Oop, there's a little person swimming up here.
Half the stuff she brought home was in cans.
Certainly makes it easier to travel. Better for drinking on the beach. Not that I recommend drinking and driving, but if you have a beverage in the car, it has camouflage. It's not necessarily going to look like you're drinking beer. So I think it's got a lot of advantages, and the fact that it does not let light in at all is going to preserve the beer better than any kind of bottle. So there's a lot of advantages there, and it's lightweight. You can crush it and compact it when you're done. Good for hiking. You know, there's just a lot to offer, and kudos to that brewery for having cans.
And you know, if you were on a desert island and this was your last beer, you could save the can, and if life became too awful and there was no hope of rescue, you could use it to slit your wrists. Well, I guess you could do that with glass.
Right.
But
The benefits are without end, and you pointed out another key difference. So. You could also do that with a beer bottle, though. I have to say, I mean,
I think it'd be easier to do it with a beer bottle, because with a can you'd have to devise some kind of cutting, like aluminum cutting device, and with a beer bottle you can just find something hard and smash it, and you have your suicide implement right there.
Right. Well, plus with the bottle, you know what? With the bottle, you could crack it on a rock and then kill the other castaway to make your water last longer for you. So
that's true.
You could also eat that castaway and.
Or you know what would be a better use of this fucking can is if I could think of 1,000 other uses for it. You cut off the top of it and use it like
you could push it down like this and then
put your shoe on it and walk around and annoy people.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about, Nick.
Doesn't work.
I've never heard of using a thumbtack on a can. I don't know what that would ever be used for.
Or a gym clip, or a paper clip, or a hair barrette.
You could can't you make like a little stove out of an aluminum can? Aren't there like prepper sites that show you how to like?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I thought that's where he was going when he went to slit his wrist. Like, I thought he was gonna say, you can cut the top off and heat your food in it. After you kill a rabbit with the other side of it, like a boomerang or some shit. I mean, like, no, he just went straight to killing himself. He didn't even try to pee and drink it for a week. I mean, like, nothing like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if the aluminum was shiny enough, if you could create like a solar concentrator and actually start a fire with the aluminum can.
Oh my God! Imagine if you had 2 fucking cans.
2 cans? Oh my God!
Drink them both and then commit suicide. Yeah.
So yeah, cans.
Holy shit.
Kudos to Miami Brewing.
That exploded.
I'm bummed because my beer is gone, and I said I was only going to have one.
Oh no.
Man.
This is my last one, too.
I got a brewery to bump. I wish I had some of my favorite beer right now, but it is out of production. It's a coffee milk stout, which I like some coffee milk stouts, but they're not all that great. But this particular one is made by a brewery local to Asheville called Highwire. High, just with an H-I, not H-I-G-H, but just H-I. Highwire Brewing, and they have this amazing coffee milk stout that I will go to the brewery and drink like probably once a week when they have it. And they sell it at Ingles at the grocery store, and they have it in most of the bars around town. But they just ran out, and for a while it was like at first all the bars ran out and then the grocery store ran out, but you could still get it at the brewery itself. They have a tasting room or whatever. Actually, it's just a bar. But now they don't have it anymore. So it'll be back in a few months, they said. Like they're expecting to have it in June, I think. Highwire Brewing and the coffee milk stout.
All right, give them a bump.
It's called
Bump
Strongman or
Bump
something.
Bump
it. And you know what? I know where you can get it also. When you go, we have this beer store in Asheville called Brews and Ales. It's not brews and ales, you understand? It's bruising
Like, ow.
ales.
Ow.
Yeah, like, ow, you gave
That's
me a bruise.
Ow.
Yeah, brews and ales. And they ship nationwide, and they carry, like,
Why'd
all
you hit
of
me
the
with that
local,
beer bottle? Ow. I'm bruising.
Yeah.
Ow. Sorry.
You can't cut someone's head open with a can, but you can with a bottle.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think you could probably devise a shank with a can, but you'd already see. But here's the thing: you'd already have to have a sharp object that could be just as easily used for that purpose. So why wouldn't you go ahead and cut somebody's arm off or whatever, or stab them to death with that sharp object rather than using the sharp object to cut the can into a shank?
I don't know. I think if you tried hard enough, you could rip it. I'll cut myself, so I'm not going to do it.
No, don't. That's the hard part. Is like, yeah, you want to drink it, but then you want to try to twist it into a weapon. You're just going to cut your fingers off.
And this isn't the beer and bleeding show, okay?
But this is a shark bait can, so.
Right. So a little blood in the water. It's not really beyond imagination.
I think it'd be cool if they sold beer in polypropylene bags like they do wine sometimes.
Ooh.
Oh, it's coming.
And then you could like easily fold up your polypropylene bag and stick it in your pocket and go get a refill whenever, like from.
Didn't we see somebody have like a distribution system based on that?
We have one coming to our house.
It's on the way.
Right. So like if you ever want to find some beer bags, just go to Nick and Ruby's house.
It's a beer sack and it's $1 for a gallon.
Oh wow.
Check out that stack.
You know, when I was in high school, I spent several years trying to do away with the word bag, and anytime somebody would say bag, I'd be like, no, it's a sack.
And today at the convenience store, he's the only person I know that's ever done that like that. And today at the convenience store, I'm getting him some Coke at the store, and the lady's like, "Would you like a sack with that?" I was like, "No."
Yes. Sack up.
I was like, "I'm good, thanks. I don't need a sack. I'm good."
Hey, you went to a package store. What do you expect?
I don't know why sack is so funny, but it is.
Ball sack?
That's why.
Fat sack of shit. You know, like, I mean.
It almost falls into the cuss word territory, the way it sounds. It's almost like suck or like.
It's like a sack of dicks.
A sack of dicks? Nick actually found a sack of dicks one time.
Did I?
I thought you did. Bunch of dildos. Who told me that
story?
No,
that was my brother.
I was like, wait a minute.
That sounds like a good story.
My brother and his friends moved into this old house, and it was like creepy, you know, like there's no light in the basement, and it's all dank and moldy, and weird like cellar doors, and you know, just something that's like from a 150-year-old house, right? You don't really know what's behind that door. So they went down there, they're all drunk or whatever, and they're going through all the different doors in the basement, and there's like 5 paper sacks of dildos, just brand new in packaging, like 30 dildos. That's the story. And then they gave them away and threw them at police officers and things like that. It was
because 29 dildos just doesn't cut it.
Nope, it was like 30.
There was a story about somebody throwing one at the police officer.
I know there was. But
You can't remember it?
No.
Somebody threw like one of those, I think it was like a double-ended dildo, like the floppy lesbian kind.
From a car at
From
a cop.
a car at a cop.
That would get you killed these days. You
I
know,
was actually in a car once, and we had a whole bunch of donuts that we got out of the garbage from the donut bakery, and we were driving around and just like throwing them at signs and stuff. And one of my friends had one, and you know, we're going like on a two-way road, right? And he's sitting in the passenger side back seat, and he's got a donut in his hand, and he whips it over the top of the car, and it hits a cop car flying the windshield. And the dude had no idea where it came from, and he didn't like chase after us or anything, but epic.
that was probably, and he's thinking, "Oh, lucky day! Like
Yeah, no
donuts
shit.
right on my windshield, like manna from heaven to a cop, right?"
From
I wish I had been more brave when I was young, just to chuck stuff at cops randomly. Would have been quite satisfying.
One time we got pulled over by a bike cop because my friend oinked at him.
Oinked. I got pulled over. I got pulled over for giving the finger to a cop. You know, it happens. You know. The problem is, you know, you think to yourself, well, hey, I read somewhere I've got the right to give the cop a finger and tell him to fuck you. He didn't give me a ticket for giving him the finger. He just made up something. Oh, you were following that car too close. It doesn't matter.
So you gotta try this stuff once.
People think they can't do that. That's illegal. Yeah, all right, sure. They can't just make up some crap and arrest you. You know, I'm lucky they didn't like plant a gun and cocaine on me or something, and I'd just be in jail for forever.
Yeah.
So are you guys all in Illinois? All four of you?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Jim Bab's in Pennsylvania. I'm in Illinois, and so is Nick and Ruby.
Oh, okay. So here we have, like, I live in a very rural area outside of Asheville called Madison County. We have a lot of hillbilly culture here.
You have bridges.
And one time my hogs got out. Yeah, we have bridges. Madison County.
Oh my God!
So one time
I now got that.
So one time my hogs got out of the pen, and they got into the neighbor's yard. The neighbors called the cops. Don't know why. They could have just come over and said, "Hey, your hog's in our yard. Could you please do something about that?" But they called the cops, and the cops came to my door, and they were getting all snippy with me and shit. And I was like, well, oh, one cop, he's like, I don't want to cause no trouble now. I don't want to cause no trouble, but you gotta keep your hogs contained. And I was like, well, do you think, or he said that the people who called the cops didn't want to cause any trouble. And I was like, don't you think if they didn't want to cause any trouble, they would have just come talk to me instead of calling y'all? And he goes, now I don't want to law you, but I'll law you right now if I have to.
You know, I'd say, officer, you've got a point.
What is that?
Officer, you've got a point. The pigs are fucking out of control. It's disgusting. Somebody should do something about these out of control pigs.
Somebody should take all these pigs out and shoot them.
Yeah, but Jim Bab, we already know which pigs you're talking about, and we're not talking about the four-legged creatures either.
Oh, I have much sympathy for our porcine friends. It's those other pigs that disgust me.
I heard that pigs are like so smart. They're only behind in animal intelligence, behind like chimpanzees, dolphins, and elephants. And then it's like Uncle Pig.
I think it goes like this. I think it's like this. Dolphins and whales, elephants, humans, chimpanzees, pigs.
Yeah.
Something like
That
that.
sounds
Yeah,
about right.
I heard about that. Yep.
Pigs are really smart. Our pigs, well, our male, our boar has names for everybody, every different person in our family. And
He
he'll
calls your
bark.
name?
Yeah, he like when whoever comes to feed him, whoever comes to feed the pigs, he'll make a specific call for that person. So like my husband's name is like a bark, like he barks like a dog, and my name he does the grunt grunt like, and then my daughter he kind of squeals a little bit, but it's consistent. You know, whoever comes down there, he has a different name and he'll shout it at you.
It makes me feel bad for loving bacon so much.
Well, hey, they're the ones that decided to be so delicious.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's not, you know, they don't want to be eaten. Don't be so delicious, right? That's only fair.
As long as y'all don't decide to go vegan on us or something.
I don't even eat pigs, but I remember them being delicious. So, you know.
They're smartly delicious, unfortunately.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I eat.
Intelligently delicious.
I do eat. That's funny. You know what? I do eat squids and octopus, and they're extremely intelligent as well. You know, maybe a different kind of intelligence than primates, but their ability to solve problems and is extraordinary. So.
And they flash pretty colors, and you eat them alive. At least I don't do that in my food.
You could. I ate a.
Well,
No,
you
half-
kill them when they're alive, so that that kind of defeats. I mean,
I ate a live scallop the other day.
Oh, I bet that was delicious.
It
How was
actually
it?
was completely bland and just.
I needed some garlic and butter.
It came with like a chili sauce. It was supposed to be a delicacy. It was like sliced thin, and I mean, it had just been. I mean, it was served on ice. It wasn't actually wiggling, but it had
Right.
just been killed.
Right.
It was supposed to be a delicacy, but it was very bland. All I could taste was the chili sauce that you dip it in, and it just kind of had a slimy texture, like eh. But but I still said, yeah, screw you, scallop. You know. Anyway, guys, I do have to bail out. Unfortunately, I have no more beer here at my computer. That is, but anyway, I'm gonna go do some work.
All right. That was me last week.
Take care,
Alright.
Jimbo.
Bye,
All right,
Jim.
Later,
Bye.
Jim Ab.
great seeing all of you.
I'll see you in
and,
2 weeks.
okay,
April
and thank,
Fools. April
Oh.
Fools.
that's going to be our special Alcoholics Anonymous show.
That's
It's gonna be
right.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. We're going to do a review of the 12 steps. Study up, guys. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for joining
All right.
us, Starr.
thank you for having me.
Okay. Good luck with the book.
Thanks.
So, hey Nick,
Yeah.
what? I'm sure you've already had some of the other beers that Ruby brought back. Is there any other ones that kind of tickled your fancy, or you just went, "Oh my God, this gotta go"?
So another one that was really good, I drank on the show last week, was another Miami brewing company, the Coconut Ale. That one was really good.
Okay.
Other than that, really good beers, but nothing that was just like, holy cow, except Funky Buddha Hop Gun. That one was really good. It was a IPA.
Cool. And would you say that for the most part, Did Ruby do a good job of bringing back some delicious stuff?
Yes. There wasn't one thing that I was like, oh, that's not very good. Wait, that caramel one. Not a good job on that one. But the other 21, excellent job.
Now, which one was the last one you had? Was like the mango or whatever?
That was the shark bait.
Yeah, it was just shark bait.
Maybe maybe I can try to get some of my Florida connections to bring up some of that shark bait, maybe through the beer traders group or something. Because I would really like to get my hands on some of that just to try it.
I'm sure that my sister would send us some if we paid her to do it. I mean, but like,
I don't know how far the reach of Miami Brewing Company is, but we're going to Florida next month, and I'm gonna try and go to
Panama City.
Maybe Panama City will carry it. I don't know, but if they do, I'm buying a case because it's freaking delicious.
Okay. just save me back one.
Oh, if we get some, we'll save you one.
Save me one, and I'll come up. I'll come up to Bloomington. You guys still need to take us to that one place that you said has the big portions and stuff.
We should go there, man. We haven't been back there since then.
No, we need to go.
So, when are you guys going? When are you guys going out there?
To Florida or to Kemp's?
The Florida.
April 3rd, like
the
10th?
11th or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you're going out there for what, a week?
Yep.
Okay, so you won't. So I'm discounting you out on the April 15th show then.
Yeah, we don't have internet at all.
Okay, that's fine.
They don't even have a DVD.
So I know what I'm working with.
Yeah, we don't even have a DVD player. Look what Nick bought.
But they have a VCR. So the other day we went to the
thrift store.
Thrift store, yeah. And I got these were
49 cents a piece.
49 cents. I got Bueller's Day Off.
Bueller.
Galaxy Quest.
Ooh.
Gattaca. Con Air.
Con Air? No way.
Wait, this one first.
I know.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2.
Ruby wanted Men in Black.
Yes.
And also Jean-Claude Van Damme and Time Cop.
Time Cop.
We're contributing to the video pile at the beach house.
The beach house video pile is like 99% Disney movies. It's garbage.
Sounds like you got a nice little collection there.
There's more in the basement than we bought before.
I know, I forgot about those.
You guys are missing 2 videos, though.
What's that?
You're missing Strange Brew.
Yes.
I think we have that one.
Okay, and you're missing
Missing what?
Did you get that last? Oh, Encino Man.
Oh.
I love those. Those are my 2 favorite movies of all time.
Strange Brew's awesome.
Strange Brew is the shit. Doug and Bob McKenzie, they're hilarious, dude. That's my show, man. That's the movie that got me into beer.
Lowenbrow, eh?
Lowenbrow, eh?
I used to think that movie was hilarious when I was little. My grandfather had a video store, and so I got to watch a whole lot of really inappropriate videos because I'd just get some kid things and then sneak a couple of other ones in there. And then at some point I started working there in the summers for a couple extra hours, and I would just at the end of the shift, I'd slip like whatever I wanted to see into a different video jacket because I knew that everybody was going to go to bed at 8, and then I could stay up all night and watch whatever I wanted. So I would just replace it in the morning.
I remember as I think it was like 5th or 6th grade, when cable had just, I don't know, it had been out for a while, but it hadn't been like out for too long. They used to have like little scrambler units
Yeah.
where you would put on the end of your scrambler your cable box or whatever outside. You put the scrambler on it, and you can get like the Playboy channel.
But if you didn't have that little dealy bop that you put on, then you could still watch the Playboy channel, but it was like a whole bunch of rainbow colors.
Yes, yes, yes. It would be like you could get the audio, but you couldn't get the video.
And
Every now and then you can make out a nipple.
most of the time it was just elbows and knees.
It'd be like, yo, check. Wait, was that a nipple? Holy shit! But yep, those were the good old days of cable TV.
I remember, like in HBO, I don't know, we had cable for a little bit. My favorite show was You Can't Do That on Television.
That was my favorite show too as a kid.
I don't know.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was the best show. I mean, as like a teenager, it'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It like water would just blood on your head.
Do they even slime anymore in Nickelodeon? I don't even have Nickelodeon, so I don't know.
No, they don't do half that good stuff like they used to.
That sucks.
What was
I
that?
know, right?
Double
I
Dare.
mean,
Double Dare was awesome. I wanted to be on Double Dare so bad.
What'd you
oh, Double Dare.
Yes.
Yeah.
The physical
I had-
challenges.
Speaking of, you can't do that on television. I had a huge crush on what's her face? Not
Alanis Morissette.
the dark-haired girl. Oh,
Wasn't that
what was her
Alanis
name?
Morissette?
No, not Alanis. This was before Alanis.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Not,
I don't know her name though.
not Moose, but oh man. Anyway, I used to have a big old crush on her. Oh, Christine.
Yep.
Yep. I used to have a big crush on.
I think our age is showing.
So, yeah, I stopped watching that show briefly after Alanis showed up on the scene. I didn't realize it was her until she came out with like her music videos when she came out with her angry white woman,
Yeah, I don't care for her at all.
diatribe or whatever.
There were two things on that show. One of them like dropped water, and another one dropped slime.
Right. If you said I don't know, you got water.
And what was the slime?
If you said something else, you got the slime.
Was it something different each show?
No, it was always the same.
And remember Barfy Burgers?
Yes. My mom hated that. Every time she would come into the room, she'd be like, "It's so gross."
Well, and Barf would say, "What do you think?" Said the burger.
You ever watch Hey Dude?
Hey, dude. Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Hey Dude.
In fact, I remember back old time Nickelodeon, where in between shows they would like show like music videos or comedy skits and stuff like that. And that's when I first discovered Robin Williams when he did Elmer Fudd doing Bruce Springsteen, doing.
It was one of those like comedy clip in between the show things.
Right. And I was just like, this guy is fucking funny.
This one cartoon, The Cat Came Back. It was about this guy, and it had a cat, and it wouldn't leave him alone, and he'd like go and hide it in the woods.
But the cat came back the very next day. Yes, the cat came. Thought he was a goner, but the cat came back the very next day.
And I saw this other video, like 2 triple cheese side order fries or something, Captain something, and I was just like, I kind of like this Nickelodeon. So, yeah, that was like old school Nickelodeon. Because
I don't even think I could watch anything on that channel anymore.
I know, and they used to show creepy old British movies.
And like Pete and Pete, and just like good Salute Your Shorts.
From like 6 to 10, it would always be like Pinwheel, which was like for the younger Nickelodeon kids or whatever.
Yeah,
after like 10,
Gnome and Maya the Bee, all that bullshit.
Right. After 10 o'clock, that's when they started the real shows.
I watched the shit out of some Mr. Ed on there.
Mr. Ed.
Yes, Mr. Ed. Yeah, I mean, you know.
My 3 sons.
We did not have cable when I was a kid. I had no exposure to any of that you're talking about.
Wow.
We didn't have cable until I was in 8th grade.
You're so deprived.
I just talked about
was deprived.
when I was in 8th grade. I had a TV that had 3 channels, and from 9 to 10 and then 10 to 11, it would be Star Trek: The Next Generation and then Arsenio Hall, and that's what I watched when I went to bed.
Are you kind
I didn't even that. We had PBS.
Are you dissing my boy Arsenio?
I liked Arsenio Hall.
I'm just playing with you.
So did you have a TV at all, Starr?
I had PBS and yeah. So we had PBS and we had like the new local news station or whatever. So it'd be at night it'd be local news and then Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, or your other choice was like Charlie Rose
and Masterpiece Theater.
The Masterpiece Theater, and then the EastEnders.
Wow.
Nova?
Little House on the Prairie.
Well, Nova was like in the afternoon, and all the science shows were in the afternoon.
Right. When I was growing up, cable was only in like one in the living room. But if you had a TV in any other room, you had like your basic stuff. And I remember you had like your local news channels, okay, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and then you had like UPN, which was like a startup back in the day. All right, like 21 Jump Street and the Tracy Ullman Show. And for me it was like the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Hey.
Glow.
Hey, you know.
What's going on?
and
Really good.
and a lot of those other kind of shows, and and then you had your PBS and stuff like I would watch like Doctor Who, the old Doctor Who.
Yeah, like the Tom Baker ones.
Yeah, the Paul Baker ones, right? I mean, I would watch like Electric Company and stuff like that, and then afterwards it was like Doctor Who.
And I remember getting up at like 6 in the morning on a Saturday when I didn't have school, just so I could watch awful cartoons like the Gummy Bears or
I used to watch Smurfs.
goddamn Snorks. I hated the Snorks, but I still watched them.
The Gummy Bears were kind of cool. They went on adventures.
And what were those stupid animals that were like a cross between a pig and an elephant? And it was like, we're freaking dumb.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. A pig.
And the shirt tails.
Oh, I loved the shirt tails.
Yeah, 80s.
I got to dance on stage with Pammy. From the
No.
shirt tails. I did. It was awesome. I was like 5. It was the shit. Are you kidding me? To get picked out of the crowd to go dance with Pammy at the live mall audience participation.
Well, shit. I was happy. I was happy enough just to watch Fat Albert.
Fat Albert.
I watched that too.
That was before me.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it?
No, it
Yeah, it
wasn't.
Well, even
No.
better, my TV was racist. I don't know.
Hey, you did have a colored TV?
Oh my god. That was a good guess.
And you know what? And you know what? If Nick would have said it, I would still be laughing. So, you know, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter at all.
Very good. I forgot about shirt tails.
Oh, man.
I used to have a stuffed digger.
I still have one.
Where?
It's at my parents', I'm positive.
Oh my god, do you really?
Yeah.
Can we marry our diggers? I'm pretty sure I have one in the basement.
Have like a gay digger wedding.
Yes! I cannot believe you have a digger. Holy shit.
It was the little Greg dude with the little blue shirt on.
Yeah, but mine's like this big.
Oh, mine's this big.
Oh, well, yours can sit in mine's lap.
Is it?
He was a mole.
It was a mole. Does anybody else remember like how crazy people got over collecting stupid things like Smurf glasses from Hardee's?
My Little Ponies.
Yeah.
Do people still collect? The kids still collect My Little Ponies?
Well, there's like a whole adult.
I know it's adult.
The brony
the
thing.
brony thing, but
Do kids still do it? My kid has some My Little Ponies. She's got like 3 or 4 of them. But I don't. So I guess because they still do sell them in toy stores for kids, I guess there's got to be some kids out there collecting them, like for real, serious collector style. But I don't know any of those.
I used to have like 15 of them.
Oh, I just
Well,
saw.
I mean, you don't have to collect shit anymore because you got like Minecraft. I mean, who wants
Yeah.
to collect stuff?
I just saw Lego made a Lego Quickie Mart from The Simpsons. I kind of want it.
It's like a Lego kit thing.
Yeah, the Quickie Mart. It's got Apu and Bart and a skateboard and.
Okay, my birthday's next. You can't get that for me for my birthday. Oh shit. What's happened on the highway?
Looks like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you can see the highway like off in the distance from here, and there's nothing but cop cars.
Oh dear.
Let's go. Let's go find out what's going
No,
on.
hell no. We'd have to walk across the field with the coyotes.
No, I'm driving.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Maybe they found out the whole bunch of freaking libertarian anarchists are filming the beer and bullshit show. Maybe.
That
Probably.
would be good publicity.
No shit, right?
Yeah. Why don't you go open the door and holler at them? And be like, hey, yo, anarchists over this way. Beer and anarchism.
They're kind of like way the fuck
Yeah.
over there. I'm
Like,
talking like
Yeah.
Barely see
You
it.
got a megaphone? You got some, maybe go shoot, you got a gun, you could just go shoot some guns, they'd come right away, I'm sure.
yeah.
I was thinking about shooting those grackles earlier.
You're not shooting the grackles.
They keep scaring off the other cool birds.
I can't believe how many cop cars there are. There's quite a few. Something terrible must have happened, which is terrible.
So we kind of live out in the boonies too, and nothing ever happens out here. So
Yeah. There's cops over there.
should go.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, are you there? I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
bed.
I'm here.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Unless Starr has something to say.
No, I'm gonna go too. I'm going.
Okay.
I gotta put my kid to bed.
About that
Alright.
time.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Starr. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
You
same.
too, guys.
Well, anyway,
Right.
thanks for being on. Nick and Ruby, 2 weeks from today, which will be April
Okay.
Fools. All right?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on, Star. I appreciate it.
Thank
See you guys.
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Au revoir.